Bob. Tony's talking. We haven't officially started yet.
Okay. All right, I can hear you then.
Good. You can't see me though. That's on purpose.
Nobody showed up today, huh?
What?
Oh, geez.
I don't see Flavia, I don't see Doug.
Doug will be here for the regular meeting. He had a work thing, and Flavia should be online anytime.
So we don't need a quorum for a workshop.
We should have 4 for the workshop, just no Doug.
Okay.
We're ready whenever you are.
What a mess,
Yeah, what a mess. It's called the gate.
the gate.
That's what it's called.
Oh, Flavia's online now too. Okay, so Bob and Flavia are online.
Okay, let's go ahead and call to order this workshop of June 4th, 2 o'clock. It's 2:03.
Which consists of the two of us.
Here,
What do you want to do?
You and I.
What do you want to do?
yeah.
Since there are no votes being
Do,
taken.
I don't need to
We could
do
call
any
for
motion
pizza
to have
instead.
them on board since there's no
No voting.
anyway. Okay,
Stephen Bloom is online as well. He just joined.
who?
Stephen Bloom.
Oh, Steve, okay,
Yeah.
okay. We've gotten version 3 of the 2027 budget. Do you want to go through and make a presentation of changes, or just want to go straight to questions?
Straight to questions.
Well, could I ask?
Because I'm going to go real fast and be done.
Oh, okay. So on the capital improvement, you had
Yes.
sent us an email which
Oh.
condensed.
Yep, just a
Uh,
minute.
everything.
Let me pull that up. I
Could you
am
pull up
prepared for that.
email
Yeah.
So we could just look at.
When did
the-
we get this email? I don't recall this email.
Well, I saw it today. So what was it, yesterday, the day before? I don't know when
I haven't
this.
seen, I haven't seen this.
No, I think it only went to Carol.
So I'm
'cause she asked for
assuming
it.
that this is just the new bond stuff.
Yep, if you look in this
So-
column right here,
Rather than go through.
this
that
column right here, this
whole
is,
3 or 4 pages or whatever it was.
yep.
If we could just look at this, the
Yep.
new bond stuff.
And that was why I broke it out this way. So this
Which-
is all
the-
just new
the
bonds.
first-
Okay.
This is
and-
not in the board pack.
I was going to say, those first 4 pages are
Yes,
in the
this-
board pack. The pages that showed the bond are not in this
This
packet.
is what we're looking at right now? Correct, it is not in the board pack.
No, not only that's not there, but the one that was online, go online. Unless my printer screwed up, go back to the
You mean
very.
the capitals?
Yes,
Okay.
go back to the capitals, the very first 5 pages. No,
No, I gotta get there, just give me a
Oh.
second.
The
There you
first
go.
item.
They're all here, new bond.
okay, I made a copy. No, I didn't. I had Georgia make me a copy, and the capital stuff's not in there.
It's here.
Okay, yeah, I know it's there. I've been
Oh, she
reading
must
it,
not have
but it's
printed the
not copied.
pages. Oh, she
Okay,
must just not have
we'll
printed
do it
those
the easy-
pages for
do it
you.
the hard way.
Okay, so there, I mean,
We'll
I
start
know I
with the
put it in
capital and go
there.
from there.
So do you want to start with that workbook? This?
Well, I just thought it'd be easier if we just go to her email. Because all the other
Is-
stuff we
is it-
talked
is-
about,
is it-
these are just all the stuff that would be the new bond.
Okay, well, I was
So I
going, I
think
was
that's
going over,
what we need to discuss.
I was going over both capital and new bond as it relates purely to Parks and Recreation. That's the only one I got.
Okay, so if I could just kind of generally explain, and I'm going to take your thunder for just a minute.
The
So,
work, you get the credit, it's okay.
so what we've done is you at the last meeting said, hey, we're going to do a bond. If we're going to do a bond, let's do the bond. So the exercise that we've done with regards to the CIP is anything that was new bond related, so go to the capital of the CIP sheet.
My stupid mouse is all over.
So the CIP document, anything that says new bond, Laura pulled out and made a simplified Excel sheet of that. Now, I'm going to caveat that with the 1 or 2 items that were previously listed under capital. So for example, Parks and Rec, you allocated $200,000 for them to do whatever capital project that they wanted to do. where that was previously on version 2 under capital, we put that to new bond. Because most likely it's going to be a large capital project that you're going to want to amortize over 20 years. So the
You're
numbers,
assuming it's got a service life of
yes,
5 years or greater.
yes.
Okay.
So we did follow up with bond counsel. The original validation allows us to go up to 30 years. I don't think that this board would want to do that. So we had our number guru who did the last bond series for us.
The bond people allow you to go up to 30 with the knowledge that the life of the stuff on the bond is 10?
The
I
validation
can't believe they would
allows,
allow
The
that.
validation
Yeah.
allowed it.
yes.
So what we've done is we reached out to the bond lady and said, hey, run the numbers at 15 years, run the numbers at 20 years.
Is that
Understand? Rhonda. So the numbers that we gave her in order to run are what you see here. And I'll let Laura explain the color differentiation of them.
Okay, well, go to the sheet that shows each one of this 10,999,000. Go to the sheet that shows it so we see exactly what that item is, or is that the color coding
That's
over
the
here?
color coding. So the
Okay.
admin is
So
the yellow.
anything that's associated with this new bond is on this sheet?
Correct.
It's nothing on any other sheet? Okay,
Well,
okay.
Yes, I
I think
know.
it
I mean,
simplifies it, Ed.
yeah,
So we
but-
can just talk on this.
these items are all included in that CIP that's in your budget pack, but they're at the bottom of the list on each page. I just felt since we were talking about bonds, it was easier to pull them all out and just put them on their own page.
Does this
They're
requ-
still in the other plan.
Does this require a validation?
Yes.
No.
No, not validation.
No.
No.
So-
The $55 million in bonds were validated.
Yes.
This would be another series of bonds issued pursuant to that.
Is this a part of that?
Issued pursuant to that prior validation, is my understanding.
Okay.
Yes.
My thing is, what are we approving something new, or are we approving taking something out of something that's already a bond? Is this a
You're
brand
appro-
new bond?
If the board decides to fund it the way is requested, the board would issue a new bond series, 2026, however you want to call it, with the project being whatever the list of capital projects, and it'll be, and it's
So this list would be on, if we went with this whole thing, this list would be on there
as the project.
as the projects, but they would only show up as principal and interest if they came back before the board and are approved. Or are they approved at this point?
Okay,
Because you start
Okay.
paying, the real easy deal, do you start paying P&I on this right now?
No.
once the bonds are issued, then you have an amortization schedule that goes with the bonds.
What are we approving then if they're, what are we doing then?
Let me,
Okay,
so I will explain.
step one.
This is a multi-step process. So these are the identified projects if you wanted to proceed with doing the new bond that we've all been discussing. So the next step in this process is once you're okay in concept with this list, I would go to Tetra Tech as our district engineer and say, hey, I need an engineer's report for another series under that previous validation. I'd go to Russ and say, I need the supplemental report matching with the engineer's report with the engineer's number,
assessment
validating these numbers, and that those two we would bring back to you for your review and approval and blessing. And as part of that, Stephen Bloom would run his numbers, bond counsel would run their numbers. We would have the dollar amount. We would do exactly like we did before. This wouldn't hit until a year from now.
November of 2027.
We would
Typically, there's
account,
what they
What do you
call-
mean it wouldn't hit?
Well, there's capitalized, part of the
Principal and
bond,
interest payments?
part of the bond issue, the bond proceeds would be a capitalized interest portion.
Okay.
So that the first payment for the debt service assessment will not take place until the 2027, 2028 fiscal year.
But that's my
Correct.
point I'm trying to get to. It's a real simple question. Are we committing to building the things that's on here for which we're borrowing this money? right now. Because you can take that whole 7,109,000 out. I won't go for that. Not ready to make any commitment whatsoever on any bond. If it's to have a bond available, that's fine. But the minute we have to start paying principal and interest on it, means that we still have to
So
start
for
building it,
purposes,
and I don't want to build it.
for purposes of today's discussion, what we've done is, what Laura and Stephen have done is taken these projects and this dollar amount, we've put it through the methodology and said, what is Pelican's proportionate share if it was run through the methodology? Now, for purposes of high water mark.
But everybody's share is.
Well, everybody's share, but understanding the 001 would use the bond for their payment because you have that funding source. Pelican does not have a bond for the funding source. They would have a 5-year loan. They could pull it from reserves.
And it's how they want to
could
finance
assess
it.
it, yes. But so we had to run that in order to know what their proportionate share was if you proceeded with all of these projects, and what potentially, if they chose to assess, because we've not given them the opportunity to weigh in, if they chose to assess for high water, their $630,000 number.
But you're still not hearing what I'm trying to come to. If we don't know how much of the 50 or 70%, 75% revenue we're getting back, how do you know what to assess other than to do worst case scenario and assess the full amount because you haven't got the money? That's a road I don't want to go down. That's dangerous.
Well, this is why we wanted to present you the numbers so you guys had the opportunity to look at and say, okay, Pelican's portion would be approximately 630,000. The enterprise fund would be 100,000, and then the general fund would be the 10.2. So.
Okay, why would enterprise have anything to do with Parks and Recreation?
They don't.
It doesn't.
No, if you look here, it's only for admin. They're only being assessed on the admin line.
Okay, I see what you're saying, going across. So what's the cost, just of what if we took the 7 million of Parks and Recreation out and say, hey, we don't know enough right now to make that commitment. Let's make that bond 7,000,001 less. And next year, should we have information to show that they came in with $300,000, $400,000 that changes the deal, we put this back in.
Would be pushing that decision to a future date for
Okay,
any of those
but
projects.
my deal is that it would not, is there a cost difference of having a bond? Right now, this total bond is basically 11 million, correct? What's the difference of it being 4 million?
You would.
We could do that.
Yes, 100%. Now,
okay.
I'm gonna caveat that is, if you're gonna go through a bond series, you're gonna have bond counsel.
That's what I
You're
was
gonna
getting
have
to.
all
You're
of
going to
the
have the associated cost of doing the bond.
processing another series.
But that, I have a feeling is, do we have an idea what that number is?
Yes.
How much is that?
So we had
Or two.
Rhonda run the preliminary numbers based
Here's
on
the
the
number I wanted.
projects.
So it's you got to throw out that capitalized interest because that's based off that total amount. So that goes down proportionally with the total.
Yes.
So, but your offset bond costs are 600,000 out of 10
12
million.
million.
So you're what, 0.006? Is that what that is? 0.006? Yeah. 0.06. No, 0.006. Not worth doing it. That's no. That's the only thing I saw that I have any question with on anything on the budget is that the expenditure of this deal, we're not ready for it. All of those things there that if this thing falls through are going to be nothing but an albatross around our neck for 20 years of paying it and could possibly be paying it for a dirt field.
I
Hey, guys.
have a question.
Okay,
On,
go ahead, Bob.
Item number 8, surface water aerators.
Who's on?
I understand
That's
what
Bob.
it is. Can you hear me?
What'd you say, Bob?
He's asking
My-
a question about
my
8
question has
surface
to
water
do-
aerators.
With the aerators, none of those aerators are going in Pelican. We've already got them. Why are we paying 17.6?
That one is specifically for the pond that is right behind the commons area, which is technically on a flowway. So if you wanted to do a different one, we could move that money. Again, this is just
I
preliminary.
just want to know, I want to know what that common area is. Keep talking. I don't know where I've got aerators everywhere in Pelican. Why are we putting aerator money in the Pelican 02?
This would be a flowway, or technically it's a pond that's part of a flowway right behind the commons, right behind where the new admin building
We're
would
talking
be.
about where it crosses Gateway Boulevard.
I have nothing to do with that from a cost point of view. That's totally and entirely the Gateway.
Okay.
What'd you say?
He said that is a 001 function, not an 002 function.
But is it in a flowway? That's my question.
He would be
Yeah. Okay.
paying 17.
That
He
pond
doesn't want to pay
goes into that flowway, yes,
17,600.
directly into that
Because he
flowway.
says it has nothing to do with Pelican.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to argue about that one. But it is.
So that could
But-
move.
But the minute we cross the golf course into Prado,
Yep.
everything's at a ratio.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree with that.
So that could
Okay.
move.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
And
so,
I agree with Ed about the park and rec. If our vote or decision or whatever, when we go into a general session, approves the money, it seems to me we are then committed to spending portions of that money, and I'm a long way from that.
Well, that's why I asked the question, Bob,
I'm
is
with you.
that in a
I'm-
year and a half, when you go through the 1 year delay, you start paying principal and interest, you're going to do it, or otherwise you're going to be sitting there paying principal and interest for nothing.
I agree with you
We can
100%.
defer that issue for another year and do the same thing if the share, but Laura, check my numbers. I want to make sure I made that correct. That 600,000 out of 10 million, that's not 6%. That would be, or is it 6%? What the hell is, I can't do it in my head.
Sounds like 6%, Ed.
600,000 is what percent of
10
10
million.
million? Got it. It's too slow here. It's 0.006, I think.
Yeah, 6%.
6%.
No, I think it's 0.6%.
No.
6.
6%,
I just did it right here.
straight 6%.
Yep.
And
Okay.
before you contemplate nixing all Parks and Rec out of this, I want to call out that there's the parking lot at the soccer complex in there and the 200,000 that you've already told the PrAC that they could have.
That's what I was going to next, is that,
Okay,
that 2,529,000, that's associated with the facility we're doing right now, correct?
That number never got updated from so it's technically, it should be 2.8 million based on the CIP sheet. Remember, Carol, you called me and you said, why is there a 2.5 number and a 2.8 number? That 2.5 number is the current, we did not update it for the 2.8 number.
Well, what is the 2.8 number?
Well, yeah,
Because you had that under the next year.
what's the difference between the 2,529 and
You had that under
2,550?
8.
Are those numbers doubled?
No,
I thought those had to be, I thought that
Okay.
original $6 or $7 million project we did included the Parks and Recreation.
okay, let me explain.
This.
So the 2.529 is the current phase. We failed to update that number. The real number should be the 2.8, which is comprised of all of the details in the notes to the right.
Was it entered in 27 and 28 then? Or are the two added?
No, it is only 2.8.
So the 2.8 should go away and the fiscal 27 should be 2.8.
So you just move the 2.5 out and put the 2.8 over?
Yes,
Correct.
correct.
Okay, and that is for the current park.
Yes, right?
No.
No.
no, because that's what I'm
No.
getting confused, because if you look at the description, it says,
Correct.
yeah,
Dog
no,
park,
that's
So
not.
these are things that are in
Pavilion
addition to that was
pathways.
planned when we built the project.
Yes.
Okay, so then that 2.8 goes over. Then what is the 2.55 down below that?
That is the sod and the irrigation and the parking lot for the Sherman Soccer
Why
Complex.
does, that's where you got to put soccer in there. That's
Yeah.
confusing.
I
As-
agree.
You
Thank you.
need soccer in there some way, somehow to delineate that that has nothing to do with nothing else other than soccer.
Okay, so the stuff that you're gonna do that's been approved already, the pickleball courts, the whatever,
Funded.
whatever,
That's already done.
that's already funded.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Current bonds.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I'm just
And
gonna
Good
say
job.
this.
if you
I don't
only-
even know why.
if you only
But go
then
back.
wanted to do Doug's grass at the Commons, that would be the only additional thing that would have to be added, that you would have to do this year, so at least it would look like a park and not weeds or something.
So that number is in, we would
Included.
reduce that 2.8 number on the commons amenities. So we would just put the zoysia with irrigation at 500,000. And then if you so chose to move the dog park, we could incorporate that.
I guess what I'm saying is, if by the end of this budget year, you want to open the Commons, given that hopefully the administrative building will be done in August or something, and in September, all the pickleball, all that is, and you want to open the park, what money do you need yet to do that, to be able to open it?
Based on decisions that the board has made,
Yes.
you said the goal is to have zoysia. So
Yes.
I would need $500,000 for the zoysia and
Go back to that sheet.
zoysia and irrigation.
Yes,
The board has said you want a fence along the frontage of Gateway Boulevard.
Yes.
That's 200,000. So now we're at 700,000.
okay.
Where's that at? I don't see that in there.
That is under admin.
A part of that 2.8?
No,
This is
the
confusing.
200,000 on,
Why wouldn't that fence be in here in this?
Because it would be under admin. It could go either way. You could put it under Parks and Rec or you could put it under
Oh, okay.
admin.
So-
I chose to put it under admin.
Okay, so it's that 200,000.
So
Yes.
that's what that is.
Okay.
Okay, what else is there? Is there anything else besides fence and grass?
Go to that page again, please.
Those are the two you've said as a board that you want to proceed with. You could do additional pathways, you could do additional pavilions and put those in if you wanted. They're not needed. That could be future phasing. But for what you've said to date, I would need $700,000.
That man shell million and the food truck parking 500,000, I'd say no.
I
That's-
have to
I
agree with
think,
that.
I think you should open the Commons, get it ready, open it as a park, and see how people are using it.
Before you spend for the other
Before you
stuff.
go spending anything on another phase. You know,
I
give it
I
a
could,
year
I could go with the
and
grass.
of just being what it is, to see who's using what and when and where and what demands there are, if any.
One of the other things that I haven't mentioned, which PrAC just met last week, but they did vote to recommend to you all to move the dog park to the Commons. So we're getting
The
some
Commons, hold on, Chelsea, hold on.
to the
The
Commons.
Commons, not the fun park. We talked about the fun park.
Correct, but PrAC recommended for you to move the
Okay, that's a
dog.
recommendation. We'll make that decision, okay.
Correct. So they recommended for you to move it to the Commons. Regardless, if you move it anywhere, I don't have the $150,000 in the budget as it is written today. It is only in this new bond. So those are-
I'm not worried about the dog park and the irrigation and the grass. I just don't think I want to spend $1 million and the food truck parking lot right now. I'm completely agreeing with Carol and the gymnasium there. I have no idea, but I'm fine with the dog park because it's something that's being used. It's not something that, you know, I'm fine with that, and then I'm fine with the irrigation and zoysia. But everything else, I would hold on until we open. That's how I feel.
Okay,
Okay,
I've got
so
one other, go back to the green page, please, the multicolor page. When Chelsea, if I think I heard you correctly, the admin line, the 200,000, there's a portion of that that could have been park versus admin. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, the front fence that you would like, that the board would like along the frontage of
Right.
the parcel, you could choose to code it parks, or you could choose to code it admin. I put it to admin, so because the enterprise fund is paying a proportionate share of that, half of it, and it is protecting
The admin building.
the admin building. But
I don't
you
have any
could choose to go either way, Bob.
I don't have any problem. I don't have any problems with that. I'm fine with the way it is
Yeah,
now.
I don't have a
Well,
problem with that.
I'm
I have a
okay
problem
with-
with that other 2.8 million. That's where I have a problem.
Well, I'm gonna go back to to me, if we weren't doing the park, we wouldn't be doing that. And if we were just protecting the admin, it would be a much smaller fence. So I would druthers, it seems that's more appropriate as a park item than an admin item.
That fence is only for the frontage road.
Yes,
It doesn't wrap around.
correct.
So
Yeah,
it
but
really
it's- but
has,
So it's admin. So
But
to
it's
me, it's
great.
admin.
it would be more
is much
admin than
greater.
anything else then.
It is a much greater fence than just the admin fence. It is
No,
encompassing.
but she's saying, but Bob, what she's saying is, it is just, that 200,000 is just the front, so then I'm gonna agree it's admin. I also would agree that if it was all the way around, then it would have to split somehow. But if it's just the front, it's admin, really.
I think it'd be admin.
I think
The
we
thing-
could wrap that admin building
My-
3
my
times
issue
for
is-
200,000.
I don't care about the admin on the 200. What I'm worried about is that 2.8 million. I'm just,
Okay,
Well, I don't worry about the
I
2.8
can see
million,
doing
but I'm worried
the
about the
grass,
200,000.
but the other things is, no, we're not ready.
okay, so I hear you. Let's do this right now. Let's reduce the 2.8 million. Do you want to
Go back to that
tell me
page.
what you were okay with keeping in that? So do you want to keep the zoysia and the irrigation at 500,000?
Yes.
That'd be, that and the dog park would be the only two things I do at all right now.
650.
Okay, so let's reduce the 2.8 to the 650.
Reduce it to what, those two added together, 650.
Okay,
Okay,
and then, so we don't want any lights at the soccer complex, so we can zero that out.
500
When
goes
you're
out,
on.
the 775
Something is
goes
zero?
out.
No.
Oh.
Lights, that's at zero.
What are the lights at pool? Do you have to have those?
We do not, that can be zeroed out.
Okay. In other words, what do you have to open it?
Okay, so let's zero that. If you want to give me the keyboard, I can do it since you're
Nope, I'm
writing.
doing it. I'm just writing down what I
I'd
did.
leave the 200 down below, and then I would leave in the security system. You're going to have that.
We'll come back. So the playground equipment at the Sherman, let's zero that out. We haven't talked about this, but we can add this as additional security cameras at,
That could be admin also for the building.
well, we have them around the building, but this would be more so of the site at
The park,
the park.
okay?
So I would suggest we keep that in.
I would want to keep the 200,000 for crack.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. And the digital community board,
We can zero that. That's not a necessity. You already approved a sign for us to put in, a stagnant sign, so we can zero that.
and the 500 up at the top,
And then let's go back.
parking.
The parking lot, do you want to put the parking lot at the Sherman Soccer Complex?
Unless it's
I
gonna
would
be-
say yes, because that's kind of how we implemented the parking to really, the parking fee to really aid with expenses and to be able to create parking. I'm completely agreeing with everything else that we removed. I would not remove the parking lot and the soccer field.
Wouldn't remove the parking lot and what else, Flavia?
No, I would not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would not remove it. I would leave the
Anything else?
500,000 there.
And the
That's
reason.
the only thing that
If the soccer thing goes south, what's that field gonna do for us?
What's the parking lot going to do?
Yeah. If the Sherman
Well,
deal
because the
goes
par- the
south,
parking
what's
lot-
that parking, all that parking expense of $500,000 going to do for us?
Well, we won't know, but the parking lot is something
It'll be
that's
vacant.
needed. We're not, there's still parking over there. So parking, it's a needed, like it's not, we're short. I mean, I drive there, every time that there's talk, it's parking, it's all over the place. Even if you cut one of those, even if one of the leagues leave, they still need the parking. I mean, you truly do.
Okay, so that's what we're getting to. We're saying that there is a need in addition to soccer for parking.
Yes, because
Okay,
if you lose flag, you still need it for soccer. If you lose soccer, you need it for flag,
Okay, well then,
Um,
can we also take out the 2,550,000?
We're gonna go to that one next. I just wanted to
Oh, okay.
clear on the
I
parking
saw
lot
the
at
little
this.
deal around it, so I was assuming that it was
Yeah.
getting ready to hit a button.
Well, is,
Okay, I would agree then.
Carol, did you have any comments on the parking lot at the Sherman Soccer Complex?
No, I think we should leave that in.
Okay, so then let's go back to the other page. Bob, you're not saying
I'm good.
anything. Okay,
I'm good.
so the 2.5 million, 2.5 is basically the soccer complex for the new sod and irrigation, and then half a million. Why is that in there?
Why is that $500,000 in there? We just put $500,000 in for the
That should-
parking.
Then that number should totally come out. The 2.5.
Project and design.
So that would come,
Okay, I
that come
think
totally come
Doug
out.
was saying that we could wait on the sod and everything for another time.
Yeah.
But that we should do lights and parking over at.
and I agree,
Sherman.
and I agree with that, and I agree with
So
that
can
too.
we put the lights back in? The lights at Sherman, not the lights at the pool.
What's the lights?
No, you don't, that's
lights
no
at the-
sod, nothing, right? You're not
Something's
gonna do
wrong
anything
here.
over there. Okay. I
The light,
misunderstood.
what's the lights for the soccer only?
The lights, we zeroed that out earlier.
I know, but what is it that we're talking about that?
750, I think it was.
Replacing all the lighting out
Yeah,
there.
but I'm wondering,
How
what's the
much?
number?
775,000.
We're
Just go back to that page before. Where was that? 775? I don't okay, that was that one. So what we're proposing to do is
That
put-
could be, that
put
can be
all
reduced
that
to
lighting in,
700.
all on the come that they're going to be there. That's
That
a
could
risk.
reduce to 700,000 if you so chose.
How's that?
Because I got an updated number from some of the vendors that I've been working with.
Why don't we reduce it to 700,000 and put that back in? So lights and the parking over at the Sherman. Not lights at the pool, lights at
I
Sherman.
did, yeah,
Oh,
right
okay.
here.
The field lights with
Field lights.
control link
Yes.
is
Okay,
the specific.
This says pool, it's 0. And then this,
Did you get that
and then
comments?
where's the
That's
parking?
right there, the 500.
Oh, okay,
Where
thank you.
that commons amenities, that 650, go back the page. Did you get
that was
that?
dog park and
Yeah, but did you go back and get that, go back a page? Did you get that pulled out to where?
Here.
Oh,
I-
you
I
haven't
can't
changed
update
any of
This
that?
is a
Oh, okay.
PDF, I can't
Okay,
change that.
okay. But it's, what it is the 5 and the 150.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Bob,
so
Flavia,
if we
thoughts?
do all of the pink, go back to the other, if you do all the pink, the blue, what we have in green, and the yellow.
That's right here, I already updated
You
it.
basically took out $5 million.
It's about half.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
I'm not gonna worry about the allocations right now.
We took out $5 million and deferred it for further decision.
And
You
6%.
And I agree with that, because I agree also adding the lights will allow them to rent the fields longer if they needed it to. So I'm okay with Ed's mindset and also Carol's, let's just wait for the other stuff for one more year and see if there's a need to it. If the fields become more of a need, once we have the lights as well.
So you removed $5 million in projects, because this was 1099 something, now it's 599, so you
So
took $5 million.
6% of 6 million, now the total is, right? Almost 6 million?
Yeah,
6% of 6 million is $36,000, right?
300,
Or
30,000.
360.
30,000.
$360,000.
6% of 6 million,
360.
it's 360.
Mhm.
360.
Okay. Then each one of these, this is what I was looking for in the budget, but I don't think it's there. Where is the P and I that pays for each of these components in the budget?
There is no P and I for each of these components in the budget because we don't have to pay it until 2027, 28.
So it's going to come in the next year.
It's just same as when we did the bonds the
And-
last
okay.
time where you approved it and then it didn't hit the tax bill
Then we're going
until
to my
the
next
next
question.
time.
Fast forward 1 year, we're in this same deal.
Mhm.
$6 million, assuming nothing changes, nothing gets bigger or whatever. What's the principal and interest payment that's getting scattered to the pools?
I don't know if Steven figured that out or not. I talked to Russ briefly this morning and we were looking at the 12 million basically because the last bonds were about 13 and it was like what $153 a household for the 13 million and we were looking at the 12 because we're taking out a little less, but the interest rates are a little higher. My back of the napkin, super rough, do not commit me to these numbers math, is that it would stay about the same as what you're paying. So if you're going to take half, then I would assume that it would be around half of what you're paying in now. So about $80 a year. I think I want to say it's like $153 a year for
It's going to
the,
be about, if you 15 years on 6 million, that's 400,000 a year plus interest.
yeah. I don't,
So
Steven,
that's going to go scattered through each one of these accounts somewhere
in the general fund, yeah.
in the general fund. So good examples, park and recreation is essentially a third. So park and rec is going to get hit in addition to 600,000 in operating costs, another 150,000 in capital. And here we go again, right back up into the same corner we get into every time. The money isn't there. That's why I'm hesitant spending that 1.3 million. We just keep coming around the same circles. The money isn't there. And we do this, and it doesn't make any difference whether you build it, you're going to pay for it. That
What do
makes
you think
sense.
is not gonna be built, Ed?
What?
What do you think is not gonna be built?
The only option I see right now, or an alternative may be, and this is where Tony probably is going to have to come in, is to what extent, oh boy, this is a stupid ask it, to what extent can we mix and match? And let's say next week, next month, next quarter, something comes up and it costs $1 million. Can we substitute it for one of these items?
That's your, from what funding source? I guess if we're talking about using bond proceeds, we have a range of projects listed in the overall project description when we did the validation. And I think we talked about you can generally move within certain categories to a certain extent.
Well, your problem is if this was based on this and Russ put in, or Tetra Tech does their engineering report and Russ does his bond, or not bond validation, his assessment methodology distribution. And then you go and change any of these from pool to pool or silo to silo,
We wouldn't,
the whole thing wrecks.
we,
But again, if we're talking about debt financing, we're talking about the special assessment for the debt financing. That debt will not appear on the tax bill until 27, 28 tax bill. So that when you come to the point in time when you want to actually issue the bond, you say, we don't want to fund X, Y, Z. Then you don't, with this bond series, you don't. To the extent it's in your budget, I think arguably you could just amend your budget to revise it accordingly, to take it out from a project scope. That's what I'm thinking.
so Ed, why it's important right now. You don't have to decide on any of this right now. We're not deciding on any of this right now, but for purposes for Pelican to set their high water mark, because they don't have a bond, they have to either assess, pull it from reserves, or they can
Just to
take
have
out
the
a,
money to be able to pay for their
or
share.
take out a 5-year loan. So in order not to cut them off, if they want to set their high water mark to include their 273 or however much.
Well, what's to keep them, if you're going to bring it that way, what's to keep them from go back, fast forward to the 10,999,000, and I'm assuming the 273 would have been almost double because just prorate it.
Right.
What's to keep them at this number from putting in 500,000 in their funding to cover the bases?
They could.
Okay.
They,
So they don't have,
they
they're
could
not, they're
choose,
not tied down to that.
they could
Okay.
choose, so if they owed,
I see what you're getting to.
if their proportionate share was 600,000 of the 10 million number. Again, they would get the three options: assess, take out a 5-year bank loan, pull it from reserves. So they could choose to go and do,
But all or portion.
yeah, they could choose.
I'm less concerned about that. They'll make that decision as they get there. But as I'm looking at this as we're currently have it thought of, I can't help thinking that when we open the new facilities, that there will be much less negativity to enhancing and improving that commons area. I think when people see the pickleball and they see the tennis and just the whole complex, there's going to be a lot of support to do a lot of the things that we pulled out today, but we'll do it next year or another year. So
I agree with you, Bob.
Laura,
I
change
like
that
where we're at right
002 account for the waterway and correct that.
I will, it's gonna mess up a lot of other stuff, so I have a note to fix that, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Other
Okay,
than
well,
that,
as
I'm
long
fine.
as the-
This is not in the actual.
as
I have
long
to
as they
update the
have
whole
that,
actual
my-
budget, depending on what I'm not doing that on the fly, so.
And once we get to it, once we get to the assessment chart, these numbers are why Pelicans went from -2%, which was the first number we saw, to a positive 3%,
Because you added that
to
number in.
now a positive 6.8%.
Because you, but what number,
because
but what number did you put in
They
the 270?
levied for all of the stuff that was in the O2 account under the $12 million,
The 11 million, yeah.
the
Yeah.
well,
Okay,
figure.
gotcha.
So that's why it's important for Pelican to know what we are and aren't going to do next year. So Pelican can decide what to do.
So one more.
I mean, they may decide to take it out of reserves rather than.
They get some flexibility.
Yes.
So Tony, if we took that 1.15 million, which are the two questionable things that are in here, we go ahead and leave it in here. And then let's say next year at this time, we see that this soccer deal and this whole field thing is going nowhere. Could we take that 1,150,000 that's in that bond that we're going to be paying for the following year in 2028 for principal and interest and spend it on something else?
We have to look at what the project description is and in the engineer's report and how much flexibility we have to articulate. But again, remember we had categories. We had roadways, water management, parks and recreation. I'm trying to think of the other, admin. I think those are the four categories.
My hands are tied that if we go in there on that parks and recreation and for whatever reason that soccer and flag does not go through, what are we going to spend 1.15 million on? Well, not only 1.15 million, it's 1.8 million since we have the lights on it also. What are we going to spend that on? It's park related.
If we
can't transfer it to
decided
another
build-
account.
But if you decided to build the band shell, if there was a lot of community support to put the band shell in the new commons area, you just slide it to there. It's still under Park and Rec.
That band shell on the last survey was a flop. It went nowhere.
Ed, I
Nobody
agree.
wants it.
I agree.
But I think it's what Bob is saying. Once it's built and once they see
Right.
pickleballs and things, like, and again, like even us, was stuff that we thought it was needed and necessary 2 years ago, we said is no longer needed, and stuff that we thought was no longer needed is needed it. So, a survey, I get it, and it was that, but I agree with Bob on this one. Let's hold on to it. If we don't use it on that end, we can use it for the commons. And we may not even use it at all, but it will allow us the ability to.
What it boils down to is that we have in our possession then, say it another way, we have 1.8 million of funds that could come off the shelf for soccer related and go to something else that would be park related.
Correct.
So that could be grass, could be band shell, could be food truck, parking, whatever you want. It's things we could have.
These projects, if you approved them and we proceeded with this, the majority of these projects I could foresee to be completed within the next year. So let me give an example.
So we're
The
making,
parking lot,
if, Chelsea, if you say that at the public meeting and the hearing on this, they will hang you. They'll hang you.
well, if I
This,
can,
but people don't want that stuff until they pay their share. They
let
don't
me
want to pay
let me
this,
give
and
you
they
an
certainly don't want to
example.
risk it.
Let me give you an example. The parking at the Sherman Soccer Complex, that's in design, that's in permitting right now.
It doesn't mean we have to spend it.
Correct. But I'm just saying, we've invested the dollars in the design. If you choose not to spend it, you choose not to spend it. Now, the lights, I think at the last board meeting, you all said, or at least Doug said, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said, hey, the sooner we could get these up and running, the better.
The sooner people will rent.
The sooner those will rent, the sooner we could potentially recover the cost. And you've updated the fee schedule for the public hearing to reflect some of that. The cameras at the Commons, that's a easy install. We could make that happen. PrAC is going to come to you with their concepts of whatever projects they have. And then the Commons
I mean,
amenities.
Chelsea, I do have a question. I know we gave the 200, the direction of 200,000. Was any guideline given to them? Like, are they looking at are they looking at infrastructure? I mean, because, it is a blank check, and I'm one to not write blank checks regardless of the dollar amount. Is this something that they're thinking of marketing? Is this something they're going to be thinking of infrastructure
Flavia,
for
I looked at
parks?
this
What is it?
Flavia, I looked at this, I hope I was looking at this as a budgetary number, not a blank check to be used.
Exactly. And the more I look at it, I'm like, what guidelines have we given them, for this $200,000? Because if anything, I'll continue to have their support and their feedback, going out there and doing the work for us and having us make the financial decision on things. But I have no idea what is this $200,000 in their mind, because they haven't even come up to us to tell us what would they like to have this money for.
It's
not like they came to us and say, hey, listen, we'd like to do with small projects or, hire, because if this is for hire a band, I would totally be opposed for what we spent, $10,000 a few years ago. I'll be opposed to that. So I'll be opposed to certain things. Now I'm questioning, what is this $200,000 for? Because it's feeling like a blank check to me.
It was not. It was conveyed to them not as a blank check, as a budget. It was conveyed to them as enhancing the infrastructure with regards to programming, trying to provide additional programming to their Parks and Rec program, and improvement.
Yeah, I'll just cut you off right here. I'll be totally opposed with it. With $0, I mean, I will go on in this, Chelsea. And, you and I have always talked about this. I go to you and then you go to your staff. As of right now, it's not just a feel. It's the proof is in the pudding. I feel there is an opportunity, a huge opportunity for programming, for going out there and getting programs and getting stuff. I can't tell you enough that I feel like we need someone in there, and I don't think we have it. So if we have staff that is incapable to do such a task, now we're going to give Parks and Recs such a task. I'll be absolutely opposed for $200,000 for, to create programs to be able to utilize, a beautiful facility.
Let me clarify. It's not programming in that sense. It's putting in infrastructure in place that can enhance the existing amenities that we have. So like, for instance,
give me an example.
The workout stations. That is one thing that they've contemplated, is potentially doing the workout stations throughout the paths. I know that they have had conversations. They're going to bring it in front of you. You could still choose to nix this as part. Oh, yeah. There's no decisions that are being made today other than what could be the impact to PPAC with regards to setting a high water if they wanted to assess. So all of these are still on the table. I want to be very clear. PrAC has had discussions. They are going to come in front of you. I don't have that readily available right now because I wasn't able to attend this week's meeting, but they are working on a plan.
Okay.
So if we took what this email worksheet, I'll call it, right now, the way you have it, and taking out the 17,600, how would that change the 2027 assessment chart, which is the next item in the worksheet, in the work?
I have to go through and plug in a bunch of different numbers to get that to calculate.
Okay,
So,
so,
These-
but you could have that for our regular meeting then?
That needs to be checked because there's a lot of places the numbers get plugged in. I can give you a rough idea, but it needs to be verified before I can post it.
But none of these costs are 2027 for the bond. None of these costs are on 2027 rates.
Correct. Other than Pelican's proportionate share.
Yes, the 001 stuff is completely offset by bond funding. So the general fund, there's zero impact from
It'll
these
show up next
costs.
year in each of the
P&I.
silos as a principal and interest payment.
Correct, debt service, yes.
Okay.
The only accounts that are directly impacted in this year's assessment by your decisions are Pelican and the enterprise fund.
And then the decision, beating this thing into the ground, the decision to spend that 1.8 million that's in this budget, that comes before the board before it is given a go-ahead and a stamp.
Correct. The next step,
And that could be 2 months from now, 6 months from now, whatever.
the next step would be for us to go to Tetra Tech and to Russ and say, we need an engineer's report and we need assessment numbers from you, Russ. And then engaging with council and bond council as if you were to proceed.
I look at it a different way. It's telling our friends, we've just put 1.8 million on the table for you. That equates to, what was the number we came up with? 1.8 million divided by 15 years. So that'd be what, 150,000 a year? No, that's not right. What's 1.8 million divided by 15? It's 150,000, isn't it? Close.
120.
120,000 plus interest. So your share is about an additional 60,000 if we go a 50% minimum. When you commit to that, we'll commit to building it.
That's fair.
That I'd go along with. That way, if they're not going to have any intention of paying for it and we're putting it in and we're running all the risk, my deal is no, hell no.
Who is they?
Soccer and flag, the two of them combined.
The fields.
Got it, okay.
So this gives us an opportunity to come up with a plan before we do it, but it shows them we've gone the extra mile to give you basically everything you wanted.
Okay, so aside from Parks and Rec, because there are other capital projects on here that we have, you are generally okay with the rest of these projects, because again, I have to go to Tetra Tech. The next step is for me to go to Tetra Tech and ask for an engineer's report to start drafting these projects as a project
I didn't have any
scope.
project with any of those.
And I have a note to move the waterway expenses all under the general fund and remove it. It's not here, but I will fix that.
Okay.
So was there anything else with regards to the budget?
So this number right now that's on page 1 of 2, which is the assessment breakdown by fund, which is essentially the whole budget, correct? We're telling the people for the high water mark going into the meeting in 2 weeks that our anticipated change is basically 1%. Your rate currently,
Gateway.
your current rate in Gateway is 1285. It's going to 1296.
He's looking at the assessment chart.
So
Page 1 of 2.
I think somebody's going to ask, what's the trick? What's the catch? As we've gone 6, 8, 10% for how many years, dug in a row? So shouldn't be any surprises on anything.
Okay, is it possible to, based on our discussions in the workshop, when we get to agenda item 11C, is it possible to have the numbers?
That was my disclaimer before. There's multiple places in the workbook. I need to plug them in. I can give you an estimated one for today, but it needs to be validated. So it's going to take me some time because I can't just like change a number and everything updates. There's multiple places I have to go in and update it.
Since this is well, that agenda item is the high water mark budget
Correct.
that we're going to adopt.
Correct.
And I would like to know what those numbers are before I actually
Well, it won't be
vote.
more than what you're looking at right now because the changes we made reduced everything.
yeah.
So it'll be less. But yes, I understand what you're saying. But
Well,
I mean,
you're giving me 3
Well, this is-
minutes to get it done and I cannot do it in 3
Well,
minutes.
no, I'm giving you maybe
we will,
hour.
we will make an attempt, but again, they will not, we have to have Stephen Bloom validate them and confirm
Isn't
them.
he on the line?
He is, but although the sheet looks simple, there is a lot of math going on in the background and a lot of pages that are tied together. So I need to make sure that when I change it on this page, that it's also calculating right over on this page. So
We'll give
it's-
you a close, and tomorrow we can send, tomorrow, if not Monday, you're here tomorrow?
What is the deadline?
The 15th
The
of June.
15th, which is next Friday, correct?
Yes.
No, it's a week
Next.
from Monday.
You got your high water mark.
Yeah, you got
No.
your
The
high
big
water
thing.
mark here,
That's the big
so.
idea.
Well,
You're
yeah.
safe.
The idea is today in the public meeting to adopt a resolution approving the budget at the high water mark and setting the public hearing to adopt the budget.
Right.
I think that,
Correct.
Yeah.
I understand that, Tony, but being a member of this board, I would like to know what those numbers are before I actually cast a vote.
Absolutely.
And what you're saying is you can't tell me that today. So could we have another meeting just to vote on this one agenda item next week when you can get it done?
let us make a stab at it today.
Okay,
And by the end of this meeting, if we need to continue this meeting to a time and date certain next week,
Location, certain, yes.
yes, then we will do that.
okay.
All right,
Sounds like
so
a plan.
Stephen,
What'd you say, Flavia?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, I'll get it. Okay. During the workshop,
I have to go to the bathroom.
anything else
can you take a 5 or 10 minute recess? Would you mind?
for the workshop,
Or
No, it's for the meeting.
for the meeting?
finish the workshop and then take a 5 or 10
Okay.
minute recess?
What do you want to do? What next?
Nothing for the workshop.
So we adjourn the workshop, take a
I-
5 minute.
I
We
move
just
that
went,
we recess for 5 minutes.
that's what we want to do. right?
Actually, during the workshop.
Adjourn the workshop,
and
yes.
I move to adjourn the work.
we'll reconvene the meeting
So
in
moved.
5 minutes.
I'm going to mute.
Okay.
She's gonna be out for about 10 minutes handling something, so I will take on both roles.
You ready?
I am ready.
Okay, call this Thursday, June 4th, regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors of Gateway Services District to order, and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, let the record show that Carol, Bob, and Ed are here present, and
Or Doug.
Bob, I'm sorry, and Doug, and would like to have a motion for allowing Mr. Geppert and Ms. Walsh to fully participate in this meeting remotely due to exceptional circumstances.
So moved.
Second, all in
Thank
favor,
you.
say aye. Aye. Thank you. Approval of final agenda. Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
So moved.
To approve? I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Local achievements and recognitions. Do we have anything?
Yeah, I just want to bring up Matt. He's our new Stephanie. If you just want to come up and give a quick intro and just tell us your name.
Yeah. Hi, board. My name's Matthew Drake. I'm the new stormwater specialist. Prior to getting hired here at Gateway, I worked for Solitude Lake Management for the past 5 years as a project manager. Very experienced with lake management. My specialties include water body restoration and fisheries management.
We are excited
Welcome aboard.
to have him on
Thank you.
board.
You got the map memorized and know where you're at?
Getting there, getting there, getting there.
By the second board meeting, Ed will quiz you on lake numbers. Be at an 80% accuracy rate on this.
Okay.
We'll take you over to pond number, what is it, pond 1 across I-75, and if
There
you
today?
can find your way back, you
I was,
pass.
We dropped him off and said good luck.
I was
Yeah.
at Pelican Pond 1 today.
Okay.
Behind
That's the same thing I do to my kids. When they get 12 years old, I take them to pond 1. If they can make it home, then yeah.
So we just wanted to, so
Thank
you
you.
guys could see, if you see him out in the field doing the inspections, put a name with a face. Did you already go over to the pond subcommittee and? Not yet. We've got you scheduled to go over there for that too,
Yeah.
so.
Have you been around any of the communities yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I completed waterway inspections last week.
What I would love to see is after you're about 30 days in role, I'm sure you're going to be handed responsibilities and it'll kind of tell you where we think your priorities or opportunities lie. But I'd love to see you after 30 days come back, or at least maybe just generate just a summary of your first 30 days and what you've seen and where you think the opportunities are.
Agreed.
I'd love to see,
Yep.
as a new set of eyes coming in, I think it would be really important for the board to get your assessment. It doesn't have to be, a novel, just what you think
Right,
the
yeah.
high level
Yeah.
areas of opportunities are, and does that coincide with the priorities that were handed to you? That'd be
Yeah,
great.
We'll do that as part of the monthly report.
Yeah.
Because if it has anything with money, you're going to assist us on the budgeting. How to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
anyway,
Okay.
wanted to welcome him in. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you. Say hi when we see you around the hood.
Yep, happy to be here.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you, thank you.
Matt, what was your last name?
Drake.
Drake. Okay.
Okay. Any public comments? Or were there any other
Oh, I have one
achievements
to
or
read
anything?
in.
Oh, we do have no additional local achievements and recognitions, but we do have one public comment. to
One
I
read.
have
public
one to
comment.
read in.
Okay,
All
is
right.
it online?
No,
somebody here?
it came yesterday. You, all right, it came from Eileen Callan. It says, "Dear district staff and PrAC committee members, I have reviewed the recording of the 6/2/26 PrAC committee meeting and would like to provide comments regarding the proposal to move the dog park to the fun park. Paul Flores presented 4 options at the meeting and each was discussed. And as I understand the final motion, the committee recommended relocating the dog park to the new Commons Park as previously agreed upon in 2024. The committee also requested a timeline for when the Commons area will be ready for the installation of the dog park. There was no clear timeline when this option will be available. I fully support the committee's recommendation to use the Commons Park. I would like to reiterate the concerns homeowners have regarding the proximity of a dog park to residential neighborhoods. In February 2024, a sound study conducted with the Lee County Sheriff's Office determined that a dog park would violate local noise ordinances. Those results are available in the March 5th, 2024 PrAC meeting agenda packet. She lists the ordinance. Where a shrub hedge has since been planted, it serves only as a visual barrier. A 5-foot shrub is not an effective sound buffer for a residential area. For many residents, the constant barking and the resulting barking reaction from neighborhood dogs would be highly disruptive to our quality of life. I implore the committee to continue working with district staff and the Board of Supervisors to relocate the dog park to the new Commons Park area as soon as possible. This move will benefit the homeowners who use the park. Allowing the placement of the dog park near all other amenities seems to be fiscally responsible and is preserving the quality of life for those living adjacent to the fun park. Best regards, Eileen Callan."
What's the address of that owner?
She does not give an address.
I believe she lives in Eagle Point.
Eagle Point. Okay, so
believe
it's either Eagle Point or Pinecrest?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And
Well, can we respond back that we just passed a budget that include an allowance for the construction of a dog park at the Commons
Commons.
Park?
The board did not opine
No,
on
we
that?
did not.
No,
Yeah,
well,
we did not.
we haven't approved it yet. We discussed that and it's in the current version.
No, I think the money is in there because regardless where it's gonna be built, it's going to be that $150,000,
Okay.
but I don't think
Okay, good point.
yeah, I
good
just
point.
wanna make sure. And then
Yeah,
I
good
do
point.
have a question, Chelsea. What is she talking about that we'll be in violation? The results show that we'll be in violation of the city ordinance on, I know nothing about that.
I don't either, truth be told, Flavia, and I haven't had.
Yeah,
a chance to-
I just wanna have that to be on the record because as far as I know, we were absolutely okay with it. So clear the record, unless she did something on her own, we
Did
would
she-
not be violating any noise.
Didn't she reference a March meeting?
PrAC minutes, so
PrAC minutes.
I'll have to go back
We'll have to
and look at
check it.
those.
Okay.
And Chelsea, didn't you go out and do
the
decibel
sheriff.
readings with the sheriff at the dog park? Do you have those findings? Because that's something you can.
I'll have, for the current,
The-
so I've done decibel readings at the current dog park. back then, we went to the fun park on a normal day and there were dogs just walking the property. We took readings then, and then I've also taken readings in Hampton Park for the proximity to the commons, so.
So what I'd like to see is like if you can dig those up, but also we probably should do another sound study. We should probably do it at 3 times during the day, one in the morning, one midday, and one in the afternoon. At this dog park.
Current.
And measure. So when you
New
do
data.
your time study, your decibel reading, and then document the environment. So there were 5 dogs, 3 owners, medium size, like just document the environment that the decibel readings are capturing at the 3 different times. And you might, I mean, if you wanted to be thorough, you would maybe kind of figure out if we can through gate readings, like when is our
Yeah.
peak
I already
time?
have that.
We know.
So look
Yeah.
at the time cards and pick 3 times. Like I think during the day, if you morning, a midday, and an afternoon, but maybe isolate peak time. How many dogs are out there? What were the size of those dogs? I know you can have a yappy
This
big
time of the
dog.
year, the afternoon's going to be minimal because it's hot.
Yeah, but I think that will give us a little bit more data.
Make decisions.
Because if we look at 3 different times, or maybe we do 3 different times over, several weeks, we could say this is the average decibel reading during these time periods. And then that way, when someone does mention a potential impact to, to noise, we can have some data that's statistically relevant.
So I did not reply to her because this board has not opined on where the
made
dog
a
park,
decision.
if at all. Again, practice opined on it and is going to come to you with a recommendation hopefully soon. I will say that depending on that decision with regards to if you chose to move it to the fun park, you voted to sunset the fun park. The intent for us to sunset that fun park by the end of the fiscal year, that's our goal. But if you decide to move this to the fun park, I don't want to work to sunset, put new sod, put nice things in, only to undo it with a dog park. So I'm kind of waiting on your decision with regards to the dog park location for a schedule.
We should set a timeline for that. Like, we
Okay.
need to make a decision on relocation of the dog park, specifically if that relocation is in alignment with the fun park. Because if it's not, we're probably looking at next summer before we do any type of parking lot. So the driver to relocate the dog park, let's say to the commons area, that's at least a year out, because there's no reason for us to accelerate that because we can't do anything with the parking lot.
Yeah.
There is, from what I'm hearing from you, if we were to move it to the fun park, there probably is a timeline, because we don't want to invest money in throwaway. So,
Well, the other thing too is I don't want to take and just snub the park committee right off the bat either for a recommendation they're making. I think we ought to hear from them.
Yeah, so we'll try to
One
get
thing
that
that
to
I
you.
want to say, one thing that I just want us to say, no matter what we decide to put on that location, we are going to get pushback. So for me, I would like to look at what is going to be less invasive at that location. We all know when we try to put that in for selling the area, they oppose to that. Anything, what they want is, they want nothing in there, but we're not doing a service to the entire community by doing nothing. So, while I want to take in consideration that they'll be against the dog park, I think from all the things that could go in there, the dog park, it's the less invasive of things, because what they want is nothing. They just want to, nothing change. But they also don't want us to sell it to recoup some of the money. They also don't want us to do, we're going to be pushed, and I just want us to be aware that we're going to have pushback regardless of what we do in the area, unless we do nothing. And I think doing nothing is a disservice to the community. So I know how I feel about moving the dog park over
So,
there versus
well,
the commons.
We'll bring that to you at the next meeting. I'm just putting this on the record so you know. We're continuing to operate. We're continuing to sell dog park passes. Nothing has changed on our side. we're still operating until you tell us otherwise.
And this would be a good exercise for the PrAC. I know that they've done some of this, and I don't know to the extent, but to Flavia's point, I think they need to look holistically, both from a pros and cons perspective, or pro relocation versus any adverse reaction that we might have to the location. But let's look at availability, so the ease of access. Let's look at cost. Let's look at impact over the two locations, and that might be a good exercise for PrAC, because we need to look at it from a community perspective, but also of the parties that could be impacted, either the pro users and those that might just live in the adjacent neighborhoods.
So we'll probably have to take that task on from a staff perspective, because PrAC, I believe, just chose to take the summer off. July,
That's fine.
August.
Whoever does it, I don't
So-
really care. I just thought it might fall within PrAC's purview.
We'll
But
work on it and
yeah.
we'll try to get that to you at the next, at your next meeting. So, okay, that is, the only other comment pertaining to that we received was from another resident saying, is there any opportunity for reciprocity with existing other parks and public parks from is county? The alternative would be, I know Pelican has a dog park, but I don't know if PPCA would be interested. I don't know if.
Does Pelican have a dog park?
Yes.
We have two of them.
A big and a small dog park.
is it leveraged?
Is it leveraged?
I mean, do people use it?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Anything else, public
No
comment?
other public comments.
Okay, advisory committee items and reports.
I move on agenda item 7A, which is the reappointment of Tom Shaner to PPAC.
Okay.
Hang on, we did not, because Flavia and Bob were on during the workshop, we forgot to, unless I missed it also, did you make a motion to allow them to fully participate
We did,
remotely?
yeah.
You did? Okay,
Yeah,
I
We did
missed it.
that today, but we didn't we did it for this meeting, but not for the workshop.
The work, okay, I missed it for this one,
Wanna make sure I
sorry.
did-
Must have
we
been while
did
I
that.
was out.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, but Carol made the motion and Doug seconded it. Okay, you have a motion on the floor.
For 7A.
For 7A, which is Tom's appointment. I'll second that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Approval of minutes,
I
we
move
have,
on agenda item 8A and B.
thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Consent agenda items, we have 2, A and B.
I move on agenda items 9A and B.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Can you scroll a little bit?
Yep.
District engineer, is he on?
Nope,
Not
nothing,
on
not
this
this
time, is
meeting.
he? Okay. Administrative agenda items, I saw that contract, $350,000. This is largely subcontracted out. Is that correct?
Yes, and
Okay.
James McCord is here with Kapoor. So if you recall, we had Tetra Tech would be handling this, Kapoor and James and his team would be the sub to Tetra Tech. If you recall, we had the master irrigation system renovation project, and then we added and combined the landscaping of Griffin to that. That is in essence why the project dollar value has increased from what you may have seen back in the day, because there are additional MPDES permits that are required. But I mean, if you have any questions for James, he is here. But ultimately, Tetra Tech will take the lead with Kapoor as their support.
Is this for both design and construction engineering services? Both?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I didn't have anything. I saw it all. I didn't have any question.
Move on agenda item 11A.
Motion to approve Tetra Tech task assault authorization 2026-8. Do you have a second?
I will second.
Okay.
I'll
All in
second.
favor? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you.
Thanks,
Oh, and the
James.
fun one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day.
Fee schedule discussion. We have a, what is it, a revised chart from the last meeting. Anything you want to present on this, Laura?
I actually haven't been involved in
So
this. This is Chelsea.
So PrAC, sorry, too many acronyms. Prac did start to have a conversation regarding the peach-colored items. We have the tentative public hearing. We have the public hearing set for the June 18th. We do have overflow available that will be at the church. So if you had any additional, comments or review, but really this is just hey, we're going to be having a public hearing scheduled at your next meeting. Any additional things that you
This
want to bring up?
reflects the last meeting's discussion that we had.
Yes.
Okay.
I still,
The peach colored is not going to the public hearing. The peach colored, I just want to be clear.
so that's still a pending item?
That is still pending.
So we don't need to discuss that today?
I guess the question is, if a member of the, see a copy of the proposed schedule, this is the document they would receive at the present time.
This was,
With the peach in or out of it, Tony?
peach is
Yeah,
out.
That's a doc.
So you'd have to
Well,
split. I would create two separate documents.
Well, that's the question is, in other words, if the document that's available, because we say link to the document, and this is a public record, it's a document. And if this is not the one that's going to the hearing on the 18th, we need to take out those items that are not going to be.
Okay, well, we can do that. The peach
Split it out.
is,
But you're
yeah,
just going to redact the peach.
yep, basically.
Okay.
Do that at a later time is what you're saying, Chelsea?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, no,
Does that,
thank you.
Does that require any motion?
I would just say we have the public hearing scheduled. I just want, I guess just direction to staff that for the public hearing, the schedule to be considered will be minus the peach, and that's what's going to be available to the public when they inquire in advance.
You want to make that motion?
I
Well,
do. That's
Okay.
what I said.
Okay. That's what I
I'll
heard, but
second
the hearing
what
aids
she
aren't
said.
working. Okay. What did you say, Flavia?
I
Seconded
second what Carol
said.
just said.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
yeah, because if I recall correctly, the way it was advertised was a link. So that we don't have the whole thing in the paper costing additional money, then having to change.
Because somebody could come back and say, well, I couldn't tell it was shaded. I thought it was for that. Yeah, not worth
Oh,
it.
because.
We'll make sure it's, the peach is removed.
Knock it out.
Can you just tell me, maybe this is the Lord, for our annually, what is our, what is our spend for the dog park?
Just a minute. I just got May financials, so hang on.
Are you
Well, I got
asking-
preliminary May financials.
You
I
asking
mean,
what was spent or what is
Yeah,
projected?
Annual, no, annual spend, let's say for physical 2025,
25?
yeah, for last year.
Uh,
My point, when we're looking at the fee schedule,
I can tell you the revenue is about 7,000, but I
okay,
don't know. what
compared to the
that I
spend,
remember off
what
the
was
top
it,
of my
like
head.
30 or?
It depends on if we do sod or not.
Well, I
So-
think you have to bake in some sod repairs, maybe not to the extent of what, my point is,
We haven't done major overhauls.
if we are adopting a philosophy where I think we should have to, we may want to classify our amenities. And some amenities should fall under our methodology or our philosophy to being funded at a minimum of 50% by those leveraging those amenities when it is a fee-based or, whatever the classification is. Because the dog park would be one of those examples, and I'll go back to the original intent of when the dog park was presented to the board years ago by Ed Ryan and that group. It was the dog park was to be 100% self-funded. It was approved
Well, it was.
100% self-funded, and it got approved under that direction, that it was not to add any additional burden to the district or to the residents. That was part of, how it got passed. It has not been the case.
It
So-
sounds like not even close.
Well, if you go down that road, though, you're going to start bringing out a whole plethora of can of snakes.
Well, my
You
point
got
is,
the pool, you got everything that we do
no, but
here
here's the,
that certain sects.
I
use it.
understand that, but my
Yeah.
point is, that's why I think we need to potentially need a classification for our amenities. Because let's say like the fields, that is amenity that is driven by lease and program usage. The dog park is also both for residents and non-residents, it is a fee-based membership structure, whereas like the pool is not. Other amenities that we have are not do not require additional fees for our residents to use. That's why I would say there's a classification that needs to be determined. And if we do go that route, then it does set us up for anything that is a class 1 amenity, that it needs to operate at a minimum of 50% revenue generating to offset resident costs. It's just an idea. I think if we're gonna set standards and policies, we need to carry it through, but we can't just objectively say this amenity needs to operate at 50% while this one does not, because the pool is going to come up. But I think the distinction is when you have an amenity that is driven by a lease or a membership or an additional fee-based structure, that would specify the class structure.
What's the dollar? I thought that the out of community people paid more
They do.
175
It's 175.
versus
100. 75? Is it 75?
Yeah, 75 for
Yeah.
residents, 175 for non-residents. And my point is, if we're looking at that, if we need to do like we did with the soccer complex and put ourselves on a schedule where over the next 3 years we want to get to 50% or to 75%, we need to do that same type of thing. So just something to consider.
For fiscal 25, there was $7,500 in revenue. We do not track the mowing of the dog park separate because it was such a small area. We just lumped it in with the rest of landscaping. But other than that, the only thing that we tracked that specifically is for the dog park was a whole whopping $13 in sod expense for last year.
So
We had a budget of $25,000 for sod and we spent 13.
So what's
dollars.
revenue versus expenses for the dog
Well,
park?
we made, in 25,
Yeah.
we made over $7,000.
But if we go back to
But-
2024, we sodded twice that year and we put in.
That's why I said it depends.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'm trying to add a little
So
bit of
the
context.
budget is about, the way the budget sits with the sod budget versus the revenue, it's about 30%.
And a good example of that is like if we go to the soccer field, it's been running at a deficit for the last X amount of years. You could go back and get an average of what that percentage is, and it has maybe changed slightly. The dog park, I think maybe we would look at the last 3 years, because we've done sod, we've invested in pavilions and structures.
We have irrigation costs that we've just kind of lumped that into the total cost of the complex. Because if
Since it's such a small area, it's hard to break out.
so I mean, it's not, cut and dry. We had additional expenses. We just don't have those broken out.
What's the number of owners that make up this 100 and some?
There's like 101, 100 people.
So my point is, do we need to evaluate the 75? Should there be an increase there or a decrease? I don't know.
Well, that kind of goes back to if you're going to put the $150,000 in the bond or whatever the number is that we're trying to get some true cost. Again, that kind of getting a true budget estimate will depend on where you choose to put this, because if you choose to put it at the fun park, I'm going to do a different layout than I'm going to do at the commons. But if once you decide that, I can get actual numbers, and that 150 might actually be 50,000.
Because here's the thing: if we budget $150 to allocate to an amenity that every resident can't walk off the street and leverage, I don't know if the resident should be footing the bill for something that they can't use unless they pay an additional fee.
So why don't we leave it the way it is right now? See where the dog park lands.
That's what we got to do.
See what start tracking those expenses once.
Well, we know we have
decide where-
150 allocated in the budget.
Yes, but then let's start tracking those expenses and then adjust it after that.
1,500.
Yeah, because right now we have a plan available to us that the dog park is in the Commons Park. We have a plan for that. So if we go that route and look at it, it may have to adjust it, but I think what you're getting to is a parking and access issue.
Well, what I'm getting at is, as a resident, why am I being taxed on something that I cannot use without additional fees? So I'm getting charged twice. So for the dog park, if we're budgeting 150 for relocation and improvements, as a resident, I'm going to pay the taxes on that because it gets lumped in. but I can't readily use that amenity. I'm gonna pay the taxes on it, the $150, because you have to have an additional fee. You have to pay the $75 as a resident to go to the
Oh, I
dog
see
park.
what you're saying.
So I pay my portion of $150,000 of budgeted dollars, but I can't use that dog park without paying additional money. So I'm getting taxed twice on that amenity.
Okay, I see what you're
If
saying.
you're a resident.
If you're a resident.
Non-resident is a different thing.
And that's different for other things. If you're a resident, you get access to all of them, even the soccer park. You can go to the soccer park anytime you want and play, kick a ball or run around, and there's no additional charge. If you want to participate in a program, then that does cost you additional money, but it doesn't stop you at any time during the week to take your kids or your family, use the pavilion, use the playground, use the soccer park.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And that's a valid point.
Yeah.
And
The difference between a resident.
Don't, not just to keep this balloon in the air, but how do you do it at Pelican?
There's no charge.
So it's subsidized by the community as a whole.
Correct.
Okay.
And 100%.
Just another amenity.
It's another amenity.
It's just another amenity.
And no amenities at Pelican are extra expense to owners?
Correct.
Only
Now,
golf. Only
If we
golf.
want to change that, so it would
Well,
make
golf is a
sense,
membership,
then,
and that's a
then we
separate
drop the fee for residents and only charge non-residents. And then me as a taxpayer, I have no problem paying the money because I can take my dog up there at any time. I'll need to get an access card and fill out the paperwork, but there's no charge for it. Now that I can chew on
I
that,
see what you're talking about now. Okay.
but I don't think
is
we,
that a pun?
huh?
Is that a pun? 'Cause of the dog?
Not intended, but.
Okay.
Okay. So I agree with you. Let's collect the information, see where we're going, because we got several issues on the dog park, not the least of which is where the hell's it going to go? Okay. Okay, anything else on fee service
Tony,
discussion?
just so you know, the link that was provided did have the peach removed.
Okay,
So
good.
So just so you're aware, I put this on here as a placeholder because I didn't know if PrAC was going to have any comments for you and feedback. They did not. So that's why it was put on here as it's
We had to
presented.
post this before they had their meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
So the peach is not under consideration for the public
Okay,
hearing.
well, I still had have that motion on the table, which of course Tony helped me with.
Oh, we still have that on? We got diverted?
Yeah,
We
Okay,
voted,
is
I wrote down.
there's second to the motion? I'll second
I
it.
think Flavia seconded.
She did.
She did.
I
she
did, yeah.
That was, I thought we approved this.
You
This
did.
is
I
for
wrote
the-
down it was a 5-0
Yeah,
vote.
we did
Yeah, you
approve it.
Oh, we
voted.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, we voted on it.
Yeah,
I was
we
gonna say, I
voted
seemed
on
like
it.
we did that.
Okay.
Okay, item 11C, consideration of approving the FY
If I
2026.
could, the lady who entered here, she gave me a public comment card for this
Okay.
particular item. It's up to you if you'd like to allow her to speak.
We're on a roll here right now.
It's up to you. We're past the public comment, so it's
Come
up,
on
it's
ahead.
up to you.
I don't object.
I don't object, okay.
Okay, you're allowed to. Come on up. You get your 3 minutes. I'll start it. Let me slide this over here.
For Pete's sakes. It's only 3:30.
Sherry Schiller, Camarel. I was listening online to the meeting, which I do if I'm not here. I was listening to the discussion of the proposed upcoming 2027 budget. I feel that we should have the numbers for the board before it goes on August 20th to be presented to the public. I think it puts the board in an inconvenient position to having voted for something, even though I realize it's in the future and I realize it's not set in stone. I think it would be good public relations that the numbers you are voting on in everyone's best interest, you have them from Infomark, from Stephen Bloom, and you have some real numbers that the board is making decisions. And that's just my comment as somebody that lives in the neighborhood. So I'm done.
Okay.
And I
thank you.
drove
Thank you.
over to tell you that.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
We're working on that. Okay, consideration of approving the 2026, 2027 budget and adoption of,
When will we get the numbers on this?
Okay, if we can skip this and come back to it, unless you have any additional edits or comments or changes.
so the only thing we're
I have
talking about
none.
right now is just the reduction in the amount of the share that Pelican's going to have on that one item.
Yes.
That the impact it has upon the 3 or 4 options they have on generating that money.
Yes.
That's the
correct.
total issue.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
but
Unless,
then I would like to bring up, last meeting I asked for $150,000 to be put in Pelican's reserve fund for basically 2 reasons. The first one was that this year we are doing a major rehab of the street, Pelican Preserve Boulevard, our main entrance from Tree Line all the way to the 4-way stop. And the,
And that 150,000 for surface replacement?
no, it sounded like, because we got an estimate from Tetra Tech that said it was going to be way over what we had budgeted for this year, I asked that we put some money into reserves for that. And also because at some point, Pelican has just started. It isn't probably going to happen even in 27 budget year, maybe 28, talking about a new entrance for Pelican because it's getting an older community and you need to freshen up your look from time to time.
Change your logo to a different bird.
Right. So now
A younger bird.
I would like to, and I'd like Bob to
55-year-old bird.
opine on this for his opinion. Should we take the 150,000 out of the reserves, Bob?
Well, it's a guess either way. Until Laura generates a new number. I still
Right
think we're
now,
going to be,
my
negative.
quick and dirty shows
Yeah.
that the Pelican went down by 0.5%, because the only thing that, I need the mouse. The only, we're still working on a couple of notes, Stephen and I are working on it in the background here. So
okay.
this number went away, the 17.6, I took that away. And this went down from, you went from 600 and something down to 255,000. And I'm assuming that you're going to either use some kind of funding, whether it be reserves, loan, whatever, to pay for the Parks and Rec. None of those other numbers changed, except for this number and this
Right.
number from
What
what I
I-
originally calculated. So it
What I
had,
expect to change, is that I think that the ponds and P-PAC is going to defer the refurbishment of Pond 21 until 2028. So instead of spending that money in 2027, they're going to stay within their normal budget of 804,000. They will underrun that spending. They will accumulate money in their carry forward. And then in 2028, bringing that carry forward money in and then spending the money on Pond 21, they'll net out even. The effect of that change will put them back into a negative increase, if I'm correct.
So
So
if
I
we take out the 150,000 and then they change, ponds changes, budgeting for pond
Right.
21,
Right.
you're saying that'll put it back in a negative.
I think that's what's going to happen. Now, we do have the impact of things we've been discussing today and the decision of what they might have to do to pay their fair share of the admin and all the other stuff that we did earlier. I'm swagging at this point. I can't get it all in my head. So let's just leave it where
Well,
it is
from-
and take it to
From what it is
meeting.
right now, it's showing 6.8%.
Let's
If we
just leave
take
it
the
there.
150 out, that should reduce it to 3.8%.
About half.
I
so early in
would
the
prefer to
process,
have that
I don't care.
percentage going forward in the high water mark than a negative
If
number.
that's what you prefer, I'm okay with it. I'm good with it.
Okay. So I'd like the 150,000 in reserves taken out.
Okay, Stevens, I'm watching it wiggle in the background here.
Okay.
So-
Taking the 150,000 out, we're still validating this. It actually takes you to a 1.1% increase.
See, that's what I was afraid of.
Okay, so
There's
what,
too many
what
moving
do I
parts.
have to do to get it around 3%?
You gotta wait. You gotta wait till all the accounts settle out.
So if that is the only change,
Yes.
and there are no other changes from the board, if we can give them some time and move on to the next, come back to
Sure.
this.
But your idea is to shoot for around 3.8%.
Correct.
3.0.
So if you go for 3.8%
3.0.
and it's at 6,
Well, even if it's 3.8,
Well,
Bob, it's okay.
is the 6.8 that's in the current budget, version 3, based on the 150 in?
Yes.
Yes.
And parks and the 12, there's
Oh, it
600,000
was the
on
bigger number
top.
on the parks.
Right.
There's where the problem
Yes,
was.
so that's why they need a little bit of time,
Okay.
And they're going down to
half,
Half.
so.
half
If
of
I put
that.
60,000 in instead of 150,000, it gets it to about 3.2.
Good.
That's fine. Let's
We're
do
still
that.
validating the rest of the numbers in the background, but
Right.
that's like, I can see, like I said, Steven is doing stuff and things are flashing around on the screen. So he and I are both updating numbers actively, but I moved it from 150 down to 60,000. And then with all of these changes here, this will be a 0 and this becomes 55, but with those other
So you
changes.
should be around 3.
This won't have an impact because you're completely offsetting it, and none of these this number is still the same, and this number is still the same as what was presented to you today. So only this number, which is completely offset, so it's a net 0 regardless. So really, the only change is this.
You say
So-
offset by
By,
what?
by, I assume they would use
one
some
last
type of
comment.
funding for it, so.
One
it's-
last comment. I
Okay.
believe they have a budget item of 100,000 or something for reserves. The only money we're really talking about changing was Carol's additional money, correct?
You had no money in the reserve. Well, let me take that back. The budget that's presented to you today, this one with the charts that you have in your board book, has $150,000 in reserves. right
That's
here.
the money I put in.
That's what Carol requested.
Okay,
But
you're
they did
saying-
not,
There
P-PAC
was
did
not a-
not budget anything for reserves.
I do
But
not
they
believe
didn't-
that.
They didn't nix it. So what I did is I changed this number to $60,000. So that with the other small changes that were made, where am I
Hold
going?
on, there is money in reserves and
That's
each,
what I thought.
and
And we
each
just
Oh, and for
category.
each of the subcommittees, yes, but they didn't approve an
Okay.
overall general, non-specifically allocated
Okay.
reserve, which is what you did, because you
Yes.
guys have not put like your slush fund reserve money in
Correct.
at all in 2 or 3 years now, so. But each of the subcommittees does have capital projects reserved for things
So
that they have coming up.
the 150 or the 60, if you choose to reduce, would strictly go into unassigned reserves.
So you could use it
So
anywhere.
safety and security, put in a little bit in their pot, ponds put a little bit in their pot,
Okay,
so,
that's fine.
okay.
Landscape, a
good.
little bit in
I
there, so.
would like the Pelican high water mark to be around 3%-ish.
Okay, so we'll let them work through that, and if
Okay.
we can, Ed, if we can come back to this item.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds good.
all right, in the interim,
Your turn.
my turn. I just have one or a couple things. Carol, I believe you requested at the last board meeting during supervisor comments, or maybe even one before that, about us communicating to the C5 residents. The Randy, I have to give him kudos, reached out to the property management company there because it is all rentals. He drafted a email communication notifying them of all of the things that they could benefit from here at Gateway and what they could get. And they did email it out to their residents, and we had our first pool pass sign up yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
Speaking of that, did
Great.
anybody ever mention the same thing to Arborwood?
We have had Arborwood Phase 3 folks
Phase
come in.
3, yeah.
We have had them. We could send that same communication out and ask Arborwood Phase 3. So
Yes.
I can have Randy do that. Send
Great.
Arborwood. I know this is kind of not our typical update, but we have the Grace Community School, which is over here kind of near us.
Next to the old fire department, new
Yep.
fire department.
Yep. They have been going through the review process with us, and we anticipate bringing their approval in front of you, hopefully at your next meeting with a recommendation for approval. So I just wanted to get you up to speed on that, because that's kind of been working in the background. But other than that, I don't really have any other updates for district manager.
Speaking of Grace in that area, Tony, any update on that property owners association at all?
No, I can't recall if I mentioned at a board meeting, Mark Ebolini was contacted, I guess, by Grace Community School. And he contacted Chelsea to inquire about some issues they were having with Lee County with regards to getting their DO from Lee County for Grace Community School. And when I talked to Mark, and I've known Mark a long time, you've seen him before, he was here representing Lee Health in the past. And he couldn't find the litigation at eminent domain, so I gave him some of the documents I had and said, here, go forward, and hopefully you can get with your folks and the other property owners there to reconstitute the organization and get those funds out of the court registry. I've not heard from Mr. Evolini since then, and I've not checked the docket to see what was going on.
I can tell you.
Do they have street lights over there?
Yes,
Who's paying for their lights?
you voted on it.
We did.
Yes,
So because it's basically a community road.
yes.
Okay.
As a follow-up to that, the pastor, priest, I don't know, the head of the Grace Community School organization was walking around knocking on doors trying to tell everybody, hey, they're trying to reestablish that defunct POA. So I know that they are taking that upon themselves to lead that charge to try to get it reestablished because of this permitting
Yeah, because at
snafu.
school, I'd think sidewalks alone would become an issue.
Yep,
I
so,
told Mark I had over 10 years worth of documents if he ever wanted any to get the whole history. I said, the board has been trying aggressively for years. And-
Sorry, I brought it up.
I'm sorry?
I said, sorry, I
No,
brought
no,
it up.
no, I think it was a good, that's what I mentioned.
But I think if they're going to put a
before.
school there, I would think they would want to have that
Agreed.
association back
Yep.
to make that complete. Because they got road issues, they got sidewalk issues, God only knows what
so that's
else.
really the only kind of minor two updates that I've got. I lied, one other. We typically do a red, white, and pool around the 4th of July. We are not doing it this year because of the construction going on at the pool. You'll notice a lot of notices going out about some flagging operations, some
Parking.
closures of the parking at the pool. August 5th is substantial completion date, and that is what OAK has told me that they will be meeting or intend on meeting as long as Mother Nature, is kind. But that is the goal right now. So there's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of movement. So
And what do you think? Do you think they'll make it?
I think we might have a couple rain days. I think we'll have a couple rain days, but I think they're gonna be close. I'm pushing them to make that date.
Well, they should be basically inside now.
They're doing a lot of that right now.
When they windows in.
Those are scheduled next week. The frames are in. They didn't want to put the glass in because the workers are in there running lines and wires, and it gets real hot real quick. Spray foam installation is scheduled in 2 weeks.
Putting the fabric on the roof.
Yep. So you're getting ready to see a lot of movement out there. So
You going to bring up anything else on?
I do.
Okay.
So
What's the status of the program position for Parks
Haven't-
and Rec?
that's funded. Well, it's for next year. That position. So I've got to work on drafting the.
So we don't have the job description or anything yet. That's,
No,
okay.
I've got to work on that. I met with FPL this morning.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
No.
I met with the folks from the FPL project this morning. They basically, and I'm going to try to communicate this out. I don't want to be their messenger, but this was what was relayed to me. They're going to come in and they're going to clear cut the easement. They have to do what they have to do. They have rights to do what they need to do. The big line that's out there that has the X on it, the tall tower, they're basically putting another one of those in on this side. They're aiming.
East side?
Yeah.
Yes.
East side.
Yes. I've had a couple conversations with Stony Brook. I've got to have some follow-up conversations with Hampton Park. The takeaway was they're going to do what they have to do to bring in this transmission line, which is part of a much bigger project. They have regulatory requirements that they have to meet with regards to clearance and safety and trees and construction and permits that they have to do. They anticipate sometime at the end of this year, early next, for these things to take place. They did produce a direct shared email inbox that they created specifically for this project that we are posting on our fact sheet, and encouraging anybody who has any comments or concerns to email it directly to that. This is their project. It is not ours. We accepted these parcels 3 years ago, subject to all easements that have been in place since the 60s and 70s. They, empathize, they understand, but they have to run this wire. They have to bring in large crane trucks to set these poles and these posts. They're still in design. They don't have all of the specifics, but it's forthcoming. It's going to happen. The biggest takeaway I got was they're going to stay within, obviously, their easement. That's not saying that Hampton Park can't do whatever they have to do on their side of their common element line and within their own properties. Same goes with Stony Brook. But basically, once construction happens, they'll come in. Most of the time, whatever they take down, they just kind of mulch it and leave it and leave it as mulched, which would mean less that we would have to mow over time, and maybe, some of those mulch trees sprig back, but then after construction's done, it goes to the ops side of things and on some type of long-term maintenance schedule.
Did they say anything about what the separation distance is to having two of those twin towers? They don't put them side by side. So there's got to be some type of separation.
And that's in their engineering department for design. Basically, if you look out there what the separation is from the next line, you can pretty much guess that that's what's going to be on the other side. Yes.
So and you do that, and then you go with another 55-foot wide pole rack that's on the top. You haven't got room left.
So the question is, when I understand the regulation and requirements having to clear cut, is that clear cutting, is that going to be maintained over time, or is that stipulation just so they can do construction, and then over time they will allow certain vegetation to grow back to a certain degree? I'm curious what they determine as being clear cut, and they need to
You're suggesting they perform maintenance.
Well, I want to know if they are.
We haven't seen them do that.
As I was going to say, they haven't done anything for years, so I expect that eventually it will grow and they will only cut if they need access to it, but I expect zero maintenance from FPL.
And Flavia, that was somewhat conveyed to me, and that's kind of why I was trying to allude to, there's a construction project and a construction schedule, and they have to do what they have to do for the construction. Once construction's complete, then it kind of goes.
We won't see them again for another 30 years.
And then if a line,
they need another line to go through.
if a line blows out, if they have to come in and do maintenance, they'll come in and do what they have to do. But they leave it really to the property owner underneath who maintains and.
Okay. One question. Did they say anything about our proposal for the utilities that we're going to put up that right away?
They are going to work with us to the best of their abilities for our force main and irrigation main redundancy project.
Right now, that's the reason I asked that question earlier. If there's a separation distance that they don't want us under the line, will they allow us to relocate our line such that it parallels the two strands and go up the middle?
They have our files. They're going to work with us, is what I've been told.
Right now, it sounds like what you're describing, our line is going to go under their currently proposed new line. Looks
I-
like it's right under it.
I'm again, getting as much information as they're willing to give.
If they would do that, that would be to our advantage, because it's a lot clearer. It'd be a lot easier to install our line.
We, on our design, hugged
But-
as far as we could.
Yeah.
Because of fear of this exact thing in the future. We didn't
If we
realize it
would've
was
known
gonna,
that, we probably wouldn't have put it where we put it.
yeah.
We
yeah,
would have gone over to the middle.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, anything else?
nothing else, but we will update the fact sheet and let anybody know who reaches out that shared inbox is available.
I think with what we now know, we might as well just get it on the street, let everybody know it, and then, like you say, go through that process. Okay, okay.
Can we have that as an agenda management item? Just so when you know something,
Yes.
we-
You,
I don't want somebody to think that, okay, you had a meeting and now everything's going to fall through the cracks. I just want
as
us
it,
to know what's going on as soon as.
it's on agenda management. I literally had them here this morning at 9 a.m. So it is fresh off of my brain. But as updates become available, I will make it part of the record and a written item here for the board.
Anything else?
I have nothing else right now.
Tony?
Update just on Santa Luz, I think we are making some progress.
Come on.
No, well,
Just in time for next dry
I
season.
received an email today, yeah.
It's like
and
last
that's-
2
was an
years.
email today from the attorney from Lennar, where I'd sent, after the last board meeting, Chelsea and I talked about it, I sent an email. It was a good suggestion saying, hey, the board has these 3 or 4 issues, and make sure I have the latest Word version. I'll make the amendments and then circulate it. I received a response today. And she said, yep, go ahead and do that. There's some things that may not be necessarily acceptable, but at least I'll get that out by like Monday, Tuesday next week to keep that rolling. So that was positive. They got a response within a relatively short period of time, considering everything that's been going on. Working with Chelsea and on a number of other issues, agenda items, and the CCTV, we're working through that, trying to, we notified the surety on that also. And trying to set a new change order with a new date. We've had no response yet, so I just want to stop it at that because it may end up being in some less than pleasant mode in the future, but hopefully they will respond as we requested.
Tony, you gave us some board policy manual. A while ago, you asked for comments. Is that ready to come
I think
before
it's
the
ready to
board
come,
now?
I think it's ready to come to the board. Chelsea and I were talking about from an agenda perspective, maybe the July meeting. or
Stall it for
August.
60 days.
Right?
I thought we put that off till January or something.
What year,
serious.
Bob?
What did he
No,
do?
I thought we put that off till December.
I think we talked about the fall, maybe.
Thank you,
Yeah, I
Bob.
think, Bob, I think we pushed it to the fall after budget.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
right.
If you guys are good with that, we can do
Yeah.
that. Yes.
We can just schedule it right now
Rather
for
watch paint dry.
September
September. Yep, second meeting September, just to,
first meeting, because I try to cancel the second meeting, so we
first
can,
meeting in September, sounds like a charm.
first meeting in September.
Yep.
Anything else? Is there
No, sir.
any, is that, if this thing with Santa Luz doesn't move, because I'm just looking at it right now, the rains are coming back, it's going to rise up, and we'll be waiting another year.
That's most
That's-
likely what's going to happen.
It's exactly, what would keep us from going in, giving them a notice, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out, and we're going to we've got the, or do we have the design for that? We know
yeah,
what we want.
Stephen has
We
it.
could get it.
Stephen
We
has
go
it.
take bids on our own, we build the thing and send them a check or an invoice.
We can do that, and they'll probably ignore it. We probably won't hear anything back.
And then things would get real ugly after that. But this is ridiculous. Those people over there are absolutely immensely frustrated.
I understand that. I've been dealing, and
It
Rob.
looks like all the houses on the opposite side of the lake are absolutely, the values are decayed because of that. It looks like crap.
Yeah, and again, the association still has their 558 issue out there, and it's also trying to resolve it. Hopefully, this will get something so that maybe at the end of this rainy season, they will do it.
Yeah, if we can get this in writing, I mean, we're already in June. I think we've missed this window, Ed, truthfully.
Well, it's,
If
the
we can-
water's down so low right now, it's going to take at least a month to even start to get back up to the stone. It's not even up to the stone.
Okay,
It's in the
I haven't
dirt.
been over recently, so.
Well, what we'll shoot for is to try to have it on your June next board meeting, hopefully. As far as an agreement, then we'll have to talk about start dates, and we can put the start dates.
We already had that done.
Let's see
They
what-
already approved it.
Subject to these conditions. Yeah, if you and I are comfortable with it, okay. Yep, okay.
The goal is to get it done as long as we can get everybody to sign it.
Good point, Chelsea. Thanks for that reminder.
Anything else, Tony?
No, sir.
Okay. Going back, or is he ready yet?
Stephen is, we have the general fund and the lake bank tied out. There's a little hiccup in the 2023 bond allocations, but I'm still hanging at 3.2% with the adjustments that we made for Pelican. So the way the chart is reading right now, this is all in with debt service.
Can we show?
Okay.
Can we draw it over here?
No, because
Well,
it's. on my
Carol's
computer.
question is, do we have a number that she
Hang
can
on,
approve?
Hang on.
Letter-
Do we still need to go?
Hang on.
Give her a minute. if you
Okay, well
could.
then let's go on to the,
Agenda management.
go into the agenda items. Do agenda management, get that done.
Give her a minute. All right, just next meeting,
Yeah, let's recap what our timeline is now. Next meeting is the approval of the, when did we set the date for the public hearing?
right now.
Tonight.
Today.
Tonight. And that's based upon this being the high water mark.
Yes,
Okay.
that's why I want to give her additional time to work through some of the things.
So nothing between.
We have the public hearing at the next meeting for the fee schedule. Then we've got a couple other agenda items, but basically from there on out, we're gonna have, continue to have budget discussions to see if you have anything else that you want to change.
Go down.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also we can continue to have these CIP discussions. Or I can work through with Tetra Tech on getting a task authorization in front of you and with,
I was going to ask, when are we going to get the authorization for both Tetra Tech and Russ?
I can
For
work
that
on
work.
that and we can bring that so you see what those costs are. Obviously, we'll have to pay for that somehow. But we can, and then that we can, if you approve that, we can get them working on those reports
Well,
for
that's got
your
to be done.
consideration for the new bond. See, Carol, we do have on here the FPL transmission line project. It's kind
Oh, I see it. Okay, thank you.
of,
About one,
Why
two,
did that light
three,
go?
four,
Oh, there it is.
fourth down.
copying and,
Okay, so the next,
I got it.
the first meeting in July would be on the 3rd.
you've canceled that meeting.
Did we cancel that
It would
meeting?
be the second, then you canceled it.
Because I will be here if there's,
So we only have the second July meeting.
Yes.
What's the date on that one? 17th,
16th.
16th?
well, 3,
July 16th. So you've canceled the July 2nd meeting
okay.
already.
So we go to that June meeting and then have a month between the two meetings. Okay.
So you would have the June 18th meeting to have continued budget discussions, and then the July 16th meeting to have continued budget discussions.
When we come to August, okay.
Right?
So I'm trying to figure out how to
Well,
make it
If you needed
bigger.
a meeting, I will be available. So,
Hot off the press.
okay.
This is it?
Yep.
Okay. Email that to us so we can copy it and substitute that in with our papers for,
Well, this will go with once the budget is, because you set the budget, I couldn't print it to attach it until you approved it. So this will be this is from the budget that Stephen and I are chugging away here. Everything tied out. So this is with,
Resolution.
this is with the changing the amenities down to this. moving all the water from 001 to 002, so that 55,000 is all under general fund now.
Bob, can you and Flavia see this?
No, I'm not. seeing- Oh, okay.
And then I took the
I
lights.
can.
The amenities went to 650,000 for the dog park and the Zoysia only. The lights at the fields was 700. I zeroed out the lights at the pool, zeroed out the playground, zeroed out the sign, zeroed out anything for soccer, and changed the admin capital, well, general, all-in, unreserved, unassigned capital from 150,000 to 60,000 in the Pelican Fund. And the net result is this. So
I think that covered all the things we talked about.
that was everything that I wrote down unless I missed something. That's why I read the list as I did. And I did them as I did them, wrote them, and then did them in the live copy. So,
Bob, Flavia, either one of you have anything?
No,
We can see it pretty clear here.
so it looks
No,
like
we can see pretty good too.
well, yeah, I have one question. If you make the move with the ponds, didn't that favorably impact Pelican Golf? Or was that not considered, Laura?
you did not make that adjustment in this budget, especially for the high water. I would recommend leaving it in there. And then I would say if they decide they want to change that, then that would absolutely affect the golf
Okay,
course.
then I'm good. I'm good with it. I didn't know if you did both things at the same time.
No, the only move I made that affected Waterway was taking out that $17,000
Gotcha.
and moved it all over to the general
Okay,
fund. I
I'm
did
good.
not make any other changes.
I'm good.
So
I'm
are we
good.
ready to introduce resolution
Hang
2026-18?
Hang on.
No. I just want to hear from Stephen Bloom. You there?
Yo, Steve.
He's-
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're quiet.
Stephen, are you good?
I can't hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're quiet, but
You're
we can hear you.
faint.
If I turn them up, everybody else is going to be really loud.
Yeah, no, I'm good with this. I checked the numbers.
There we
here.
go.
Yeah.
Yep, I can see them. Everything tied out. That's what we were checking, so.
So Stephen, you are good with the numbers as presented here in front of us.
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, now we are ready to go back to item 11C. When you are ready.
11C, and at this point then, are we ready to make a,
Tony, could you give me a motion to make, please?
you got one?
The motion is to adopt the resolution. Let me get. It's
2026-18 in the back of the book.
adopt the, adopt the resolution.
26-18.
2026-18, approving the fiscal 2027 budget and setting a public hearing. All in the resolution with regards to the date, time, place, and location of the budget adoption hearing. And
So moved.
I'll second your motion.
Okay. Doug beat you to it. Okay, we have a motion and a second of resolution 2026-18, a resolution approving a proposed budget and setting a public hearing for August 20th, 2026, 6 p.m. at the Gateway Boardroom with a spillover to the Gateway Church. Any other discussion? If
None.
not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
And then
Boy, I'll tell you,
tomorrow
that
we'll-
was smooth for 4 meetings of budget.
I'm going to tell you,
What-
I
what
did
I will
not
do-
expect us to be here.
I didn't either. No way.
I will, when I print the pretty version tomorrow to attach to the agenda, I will email it to all of you because that's the one that will also be posted on our website.
I do want to take a second to recognize Laura for all her efforts with this budget. Couple less nights.
Less nightmares than
How can you do
previous
that? Her hair
years,
hadn't
yeah.
changed gray.
It's great. There's some extra in there,
And
but
Stephen
yeah.
Bloom and Russ, but Laura has really taken the legwork on this, and I think it's shown. I think with time, and this is year 2 on this new methodology. I think we've made a great effort to make this less painful than it's been in the past.
I
I
think
want to go back, Laura, to where we were when you first came on board and the budget
Doug, I was
shifts.
thinking about the same thing. Throw a
The bu-
number and what can we do with this number?
Well, not only the number, but just the process from when we get started to the end, because normally it got extremely hectic,
Wait,
almost frantic
I
towards
think
the
it
end.
was painful is what it was.
Yeah, yeah. And every year we continue to get better and better. And I think you need to be complimented as well as the effort that staff has made to contributing to the numbers. I mean, it does take a village, but I'm extremely excited about where we've landed on this.
She underplayed one thing a while ago when Carol was asking for that number. What comes out on that paper and the crunching that goes into it is unbelievable.
There's about 20, well, probably 30 tabs that are all linked together. And so we have checks and balances along each step. So you take the sheets that you see for like 001 and there's like 8 tabs that calculate those numbers behind
still,
the
even
scenes. So-
We worked for years with one shoe fits all.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Yeah.
Well, and also
We don't have that
with the
anymore.
complexity on the back end, your ability to almost in real time make changes with a high degree of accuracy and quality. I mean, that's a lot. And it helps this board to be more proactive. When we do make changes, we can see things on the fly.
See
and,
fast.
I mean, we basically, almost the last 2 years, final approval date, there's very minimal conversation. It's just do it at that point. So, and that's great, because budgeting is normally the hardest thing that a district has to go through, especially a board that's managing it. So I appreciate the kudos and compliments.
And I want to echo the sentiments with staff because, you know, I mean, Laura is the one who puts it and makes the end product what it is, but it takes a village. So it's kudos to everybody involved in this process. So thank you. And thank you for supporting us yet again in a lot of these initiatives.
Supervisor comments. Flavia.
Yes, Ed.
Supervisor comments. Do you have anything?
I don't have any. Thank you all for, Bob, stop laughing. No, thank you all.
Missed you being here. Bob, anything?
No, I don't have anything else.
Carol?
No.
Doug?
I just want, as you're going through that program's position, let's look at a timeline, because I think it needs to be in parallel, if not prior to, when the amenities are rolled out, because again, I think there's a huge opportunity for revenue generation and also just
Get off on the right foot.
and just community, because there's going to be a lot of coordination, whether it's programs or just making sure facilities are available, that the scheduler is working appropriately, that someone, if there are any issues, they got someone to go to. But I'm looking at this position as being a great conduit to the community when it comes to our amenities and programs, but more importantly, a true avenue and channel for revenue generation. So.
Yes, and I wanted us to get through at least the high water mark. I didn't want to count my what is it? Count your eggs before they hatch. Chickens count my chickens. Eggs, same thing.
Before the eggs hatch.
But it is our intent to draft the job description, post it, advertise, ideally recruit and get somebody on board. You know, we've got some funds that we can move around to try to bring them on sooner than the start of the fiscal. But that is our intent, is to have that in place, ready to rock and roll on opening day.
I agree. Yeah.
I have nothing. Anybody else say anything else?
No.
Okay, no. Motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ed.
Thanks, everybody.